High above the clouds, beyond the plains and valleys, there is a world most people never imagine belongs to Africa. Cold winds, jagged cliffs, ancient rock plateaus touching the sky. This is Mountain Ethiopia, a land that rewrites everything the world thinks it knows. Welcome to the Sky Kingdom. When many people imagine Africa, they see deserts, hot savannas, and endless heat. But Ethiopia tells another story. Over 70% of Africa's mountains are here. Some peaks rise above 4,500 meters, higher than many mountains in Europe. At night, frost forms on the ground. In the morning, clouds roll beneath your feet. This is why explorers once called Ethiopia the roof of Africa. Welcome to the Simien Mountains, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Their cliffs drop down like broken teeth, carved by millions of years of erosion. Standing on the edge feels like standing at the border of Earth and sky. Here, live creatures found almost nowhere else on Earth. There are the Gelada baboons, the world's only grass-eating monkeys, with their striking red chests. There's the magnificent Valia ibex, a mountain goat with massive, backward curving horns, clinging effortlessly to sheer cliffs. And here, the Ethiopian wolf, the rarest wolf on the planet, roams its high-altitude kingdom. They all evolved here, isolated by cliffs, protected by the altitude, and shaped by the forces of time. In these mountains, nature writes poetry. For thousands of years, Ethiopians have lived here, not just surviving, but thriving. They build their homes on high mountain ridges, their lives woven into the very fabric of the landscape. They farm soil that was often carried by hand up steep slopes. Children walk these same steep paths to school every single day. Life is hard, there's no denying it, but it is a life full of dignity and deep connection to the land. Their ancient terraces create what look like floating farms, clinging to the mountainsides. Their churches, unbelievably, stand carved directly into solid rock and hidden within caves. For them, faith, land, and mountain are all part of one single, inseparable life. Ethiopia's mountains did something powerful throughout history. They protected the country. Potential invaders found it nearly impossible to conquer these formidable heights. Because of this natural fortress, great empires survived and flourished here. The Kingdom of Aksum, the Zagwe dynasty, and the Solomonic dynasties that followed. Christianity arrived here very early in its history and stayed, becoming deeply rooted in the culture. Islam also arrived peacefully and thrived alongside it for centuries. The mountains created a shield that fostered independence. That is why Ethiopia stands proudly as one of the few nations in Africa never to be colonized. Its freedom was carved from these very stones. Now, travel south with me to the Bale Mountains. Here, the landscape changes, becoming something almost alien. Tall, strange plants called giant lobelias rise from the ground, looking like sculptures from another planet. Thick, green moss covers ancient rocks like a velvet blanket. Fog drifts silently across the high plateaus, adding to the mystical atmosphere. And across this strange land runs the Ethiopian wolf, watching, hunting, and then disappearing into the mist like a ghost. Only a few hundred of these incredible animals remain in the wild. This place reminds us that nature is fragile and that every single footprint matters. For centuries, the mountains in Ethiopia have been seen as profoundly holy places. Monks and ascetics climbed these high peaks to live in silence and solitude. They prayed in remote caves and copied sacred manuscripts by candlelight, preserving knowledge and faith through the generations. They held a powerful belief: the higher you climb, the closer you come to God. Even today, you can witness pilgrims walking barefoot for days, sometimes weeks, on arduous journeys to reach sacred mountaintop churches and monasteries. Their faith travels on tired feet, but it arrives stronger and more profound than ever. Beyond their spiritual significance, Ethiopia's mountains hold something even more important for the entire region: water. From these towering peaks begin the rivers that feed countries far beyond Ethiopia's borders, including the mighty Blue Nile, which provides the majority of the water for the Nile River. These mountains are not just beautiful, dramatic landscapes. They are Africa's great water tower, giving the gift of life to millions upon millions of people downstream. But this Sky Kingdom is not invincible. The mountains face modern dangers. Climate change is altering weather patterns. Overgrazing puts pressure on the delicate vegetation. Deforestation leads to soil erosion, washing away the precious land that has sustained people for millennia. The glaciers that once touched these high peaks are now gone, a stark reminder of a warming world. Rare species are disappearing at an alarming rate, yet there is still hope. This hope lives in the work of conservationists, in the spread of education, and in the leadership of the local communities who know this land best. The future of the Sky Kingdom is not lost, but it must be actively protected. When people finally discover Ethiopia's mountains, they often say the exact same words. "I never knew this existed." That is precisely why telling this story matters so much. It's not just about promoting tourism or capturing beautiful views for social media. It's because these mountains reveal a profound truth. They show that Africa is incredibly diverse, far beyond the common stereotypes. They show that Ethiopia is an ancient and wonderfully complex nation. And they show that our world still holds breathtaking wonder if we only know where to look. They remind us that the world is so much bigger and more fascinating than what we see in the headlines. In the deep silence of the evening, as the sun sets, the wind moves through the cliffs, whispering ancient secrets. The clouds rise up from the valleys, glow orange and pink, and then fade into the night. But the mountains remain. They are older than any king, older than any empire. They carry the memory of history, the weight of faith, and the pulse of life itself. And in their quiet majesty, they seem to whisper, "The sky remembers those who stand close to it." If you enjoyed this journey into Ethiopia's Sky Kingdom, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Because there are so many more stories waiting to be told, high above the clouds. Thanks for watching.